and welcome once again to another episode of the Horizon Roundtable. I am Bob McDonald, and you can find me on Twitter at Bob McDonald. And joining me, as always, is my co-host Matt Dudek.
Hey there, everybody.
Matt, of course, you can find on Twitter at Horizon Matt. You can find the podcast on Twitter as well at Horizon RT. You can find all of our content on horizonroundtable.com, and be sure to subscribe wherever podcasts are available. Matt, before we get started, a couple of programming notes. First and foremost, we were scheduled to have Jeremy Otto, the TV voice of Detroit Mercy, and the host of the Absence of Sports podcast on next week. He is going to be coming to us the week of the 26th. So, but we're definitely going to have him, and we are definitely going. You definitely don't want to miss that. And also, if you've been following Twitter, you know that we're doing 2 episodes this week. The second episode, of course, is going to be our conversation with new UIC head coach Luke Yaklich. So, I am looking forward to that as well, but not as much as this that we're doing right now, and because this is a very, very we enjoy having lots of guests on here, but this one is really great. This is this gentleman should need no introduction, especially not to Oakland fans. He was for the years he was with the Golden Grizz. He was their superstar. We went on to the NBA, and being from Northeast Ohio, I know I have at least one question about being drafted by the Cavs. And of course, he was also a member of the Horizon League's All-Decade team. So I'm happy. I'm excited to have him. Kay Felder, welcome to the podcast.
Hey guys, definitely appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. So and credit to Matt, because Matt wanted to make sure that I wanted to get you on, and without any further ado, Matt, I know you have quite a few questions, so let her rip.
All right, well, Kay, as the resident Golden Grizzlies family, again, we appreciate you coming on. I've been getting a lot of people's questions for you. We're excited to talk to you and get that chance, although obviously not the best of times, and we'll get into some of what life is like for you right now. We'll get into that a little bit, but just want to start. How are you, family, friends, everyone holding up okay through all this?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Yeah, everybody's doing good, man. I talk to my people just about, every other day. Everyone's doing pretty good.
That's good. I remember even from your time at Oakland, family's a big part of your life, so I wanted to make sure everyone's doing okay to start for you over there. So I want to go back. Obviously, we want to talk about some of your college time. How did you end up at Oakland? Why Oakland University?
I would say, man. Okay, so coming out of high school, I kind of figured that I wasn't gonna get recruited by high major schools. So in my mind, about my 10th grade, 11th grade year, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna find the right mid-major school. And then, Campy was on me since I was in 10th grade. And then, throughout the recruiting process, I met Sadie Washington. And Sadie Washington was a friend of me. He always kept it real with me. And Campy always kept it real with me as well. But I think Sadie really did it for me. And I knew Jalen and Nick Daniels, who came in with me, that class right there. But Sadie really did it for me, man. Sadie Washington.
So Sadie was the one that was at, a lot of your games and was checking in on you and all that during the process?
Yeah, most definitely, man. He's a great recruiter, a great guy, stand-up dude. I still talk to him to this day. So, it was more about, life and relationship with him than more so basketball. And I think that's what really drew me in.
And your Pershing High School team, did you guys come to team camps, if I remember? Is that right? Weren't you guys at some of the Oakland team camps as well?
Yep. All my years, just about every year I was at Oakland team camp.
Okay, so you had a good feel for, Campy and the coaching staff and just kind of Oakland life in general then, is that right?
Not really. I didn't really get that feel until I went on my visit, honestly. With the team camp, we would just drive up to OU and play the game, drive back because it was only 30 minutes. So
okay,
yeah.
During oh, go ahead. Sorry about.
yeah, like didn't really get to see campus as much. I mean, it wasn't much of a campus anyway, so I mean, but it worked for me.
You talked about like coming up for an official visit. Was there a game that you came on a visit that really kind of sold it for you? Like, was that the atmosphere of the Grizz gang? Like, what do you remember from your official visits?
On my official visit, I think Bader had like 40. Um, Man, Travis Bader, he was playing Denzel Valentine, like those two guys I really gravitated towards on my official visit. I forget. I want to say they was playing Western Illinois. Are they purple?
I mean, Western Illinois was Summit League, so that I'm trying to time that out. That might make sense. It was an option.
Yeah, I think they was playing Western Illinois. I'm not so certain on that, but I know it was a purple school. So, I mean, that game and then going to see campus on my official visit. That's really what I remember.
So anyone that follows Oakland knows Oakland for a long time, was point guard with you, Reggie Hamilton, a lot of guys, Jonathan Jones, and a lot of
Hmm.
those guys had the key. We talked about having the keys to the car from day one. Did you know coming into Oakland that you were going to have the keys to the car at the point?
No, not at all. I did not. I did not even think of it, expect it. Know that I was just coming on campus, like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I do and just handle my business and then go on. Like, never really thought about having the keys much until like maybe later years in college. So when me and Campy was meeting, it was like, I'm gonna give you the keys. But like he told me, I'll bring somebody else in here if you messing up. I'm like, okay, I got you. So that was what that was about. Like that was totally unexpected.
So what's that like? A lot of us that listen to this or watch these, we're not Division One athletes. We don't know what's that like being a freshman on campus, being told that you're going to have the keys to the car. Like what's that like for you?
It was definitely a shock because it's like, okay, I'm coming to this new situation. I don't really know what's going on. I haven't played college basketball before, but at the end of the day, it is basketball. So I think you just take your steps with it, man. You listen to your coach and you make sure you develop it. That was the main thing for me, especially stepping from high school to college. It was definitely a different pace, and I had to find my rhythm and find my flow in it. So I think I did a pretty good job of, adjusting to it and, taking it hands on. Like, cause it's just so much that goes into it with my schoolwork. I got study hours, so I got to make sure I'm getting my hours in for study and, doing homework. Then, okay, now it's, okay, when do I have time to work out? When do I have time to get my shots up? Then I do that. Then it's like, okay, well, I got to find sleep. I got to find when am I going to eat? Things like that, like, man, like family time. Because, like, I'm only 30 minutes away from home, so that was a big thing for me, like going back home on the weekend. So like all that just playing its part on top of me being a freshman, just giving the whole, team to me, like, it was definitely a shocker, man. But I was ready for it. I would say I was ready for it.
As a freshman, is there one moment that you remember where like Campy went all campy on you and you really took your lumps? Is there one moment?
So look, I forget what game it was, but Cappy came and met me at half court. I don't know. I don't remember which game, but I had like took a shot or something, and it was like a timeout. He met me at half court and gave it to me. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, that was a good shot. Like, I scored a bucket or whatever. Or maybe I don't know. I don't know, but I know he came and got me like, what are you doing? And, he got to be in campus.
You got the full campy experience there, huh?
That was a full camping experience.
So I want to jump ahead a little bit in your college career here. So all of a sudden you find yourself playing with two of your classmates from Pershing, right? With
Yeah,
Martez Walker and Sharon Dorsey Walker.
yeah.
Um, first off, like, what was that like? Was that kind of surreal that all of a sudden you guys are on the same court in college together?
No, that's definitely special, man. I definitely like took it for granted. I would say, because like midway through the year, I knew I was leaving. I would say like I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. Just finish out the year as strong as I can, and then whatever happens, happens. I definitely think I took that for granted, but it definitely was special at the time, like, cause we had so many fans at every game. They made shirts called like the Oakland Doughboys. It was like stuff like that, Doughboys of Oakland, like, cause Doughboys was our mascot in high school. So no, that definitely was like a great experience. I definitely wish I had one more year with those guys. But Martez Walker and Sharon, we talk every other day, so we talk about those moments from high school to college. It was just crazy how it all happened. Them transferring, them want to transfer and to come play, with me and build something there. It was definitely a special thing.
Did you help in getting them here? Were you part of that recruiting process for them, or was that all campy? Like, did you play a factor in any of that?
Well, I mean, like, I talked to, when I on campus, when I was at school, I talked to Campy every day. So it was like, we definitely talked about it. And, Sharon and Mellon, we call Martez Mellon, so that's his nickname. But, yeah, man, we talk like every other day, like even through college. So it was like, well, these schools looking at me, what you think about Oakland? I'm like, well, it's Campy recruiting y'all. They're like, well, yeah. It's like, well, I'm like, me? Like, come on, we can, do what we did in high school. Like, so I could say, yeah, I was part of the recruiting class, but not really. Like, it was a no-brainer for me, but I definitely told them look at other options if they wanted to.
So you've probably saw it on Twitter. I've been trying to get some, Ask Kay, which is the throwback to the Ask Campy. He does his radio show. So I had a question from MD Fun 89. He wanted to know, what is your most disappointing play while at OU? And then on the flip side, what was your best moment while at OU? So we'll start. What was your most disappointing? We'll start with the bad one.
The bad, I would say, losing to Michigan State.
Was it the one where it rimmed out on you?
Yeah, losing to Michigan State, because I could have, like, if I'd have made it and one and made the free throw, I feel like we'd have won that game. But I just missed a layup and made 2 free throws and took it to overtime. But I feel like if I'd have made it, so that I feel like that was my most disappointing. I would say I had a couple.
That one hurt as an Oakland fan. I'm not gonna lie.
No, definitely that one, as well as losing in the Rivalry League tournament every year. I feel like those 3 years, losing in the Rivalry League tournament and losing to Michigan State my last year, that was my disappointment. Oh my God.
All right, so on the better side, what are the best moments for you? Let's get to the good stuff.
Man, best moments. Being close to triple doubles, having a couple triple doubles under my belt, like those like my best moments. No, I'm sorry. Against UDM, this is my favorite moment. Favorite moment, maybe ever, besides the Michigan State. Happened like, I think I had 16 assists against UDM.
It was high. Yeah, I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite moment, and we won that game. Also, another favorite moment is, the papers and the media trying to call UDM a rivalry game. I mean, I feel like just because we were 30 minutes away don't mean they're a rivalry.
It's like you're looking at my show sheet. That's exactly what I wanted to ask you about, was the "it's not a rivalry" quote. Talk to me about the Detroit Mercy "it's not a rivalry" thing, because you said it, and at the time, a lot of us were like, "Oh man, it's going to be like Mike Hart, little brother thing," but it hasn't happened. So talk to me about the "it's not a rivalry" and Detroit Mercy in general.
Oh, so Detroit Mercy was recruiting me for a little second, and then they like went away, and then they end up coming, we end up joining the Rise League, and boom, Detroit Mercy, this is a rivalry game, and that, like the Metro Series and all that. Like, I don't a rivalry to me is North Carolina and Duke. So I don't think, since I've been watching North Carolina and Duke, that it's been like someone has won twice in a year. something like that. So for me, it was like I only lost to UDM once my whole career there. So where's the rivalry at? So my thing is, it's just another game. It's not a rivalry. I mean, if somebody could pull out some other facts, then let me hear it. But I only lost to UDM one time in my career, and after that, coming back to the UDM versus Oakland game, we've been winning. So it's like, where's the rivalry? I want to know.
I'm cool with it. I mean, it always scares me, but I like where you're at on it. And just as a fan, it's fun to watch. And I think the series is at 12-2 right now in men's basketball, and Oakland hasn't dropped a Metro series since that started. So I see what you're saying about it's not a rivalry.
See what I'm saying? It's not a rivalry. I'm sorry. UDM can say whatever they want to say, but the numbers show, man. The women lie, men lie, numbers don't.
Do you think some of the results have come? We hear, I know you're from Michigan, obviously, and like we always hear about, U of M versus Ohio State, and we hear how Ohio State just wants it more, they care more. Do you think Oakland cares more about that supposed rivalry than UDM? Are they just more talented? What do you think the secret has been?
I just feel like we better. That's just what I feel. I feel like we better. Maybe they need to do something else. I don't know, but I really don't like UDM because, like, before the whole Metro series and all that started, dudes that I knew on the team was talking just talking junk, and it was just like, first of all, let's play a game first, then y'all can start talking. But they was talking way before the game, so I think that's what like pushed me to like hate UDM, So I think that's where all that started. Those guys talking like before the games, like, oh, Oakland just, this, that, and the third, and not even knowing we better than y'all, and we gonna show it. We ain't talk back. So.
Well, again, as an Oakland fan, I appreciate what all Oakland basketball players have done in that series for us.
Yeah. So I actually had a couple of additional questions, kind of about your college career. The first one is, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the accolades during the 15-16 season. But the one thing I wanted to actually ask you about, because that 15-16 Oakland team was the team that participated in the one and only Vegas 16. Which I believe was like 8 at that point in time. What kind of experience was that? Because that was like kind of a new thing that was like, it was like one of those. It was like one of those cult classic TV shows that only lasts a season, like Firefly, that just goes away but the legend lives on through their Twitter account, by the way.
So that was like, Abby came to us, asked us like, yo, like, y'all want to play in this? What y'all want to do? We got postseason play. And everyone was like, yeah. And we were like, there'll be 16 teams. We get there, and it's only 8. So we like, okay, that's cool. We'll play. Man, because I really did not know what to expect going into that. But it was definitely a fun experience, going to Vegas, playing on that type of stage. I mean, I enjoyed it. And that was my last college games right there.
Yeah. The other question I had, obviously, was the fact that year you were named Player of the Year, and you were kind of in the running for a lot of different, not just mid-major awards, but a lot of national awards. Getting those accolades. What are when you're getting that kind of recognition? Where was it? How did that kind of resonate with you in terms of kind of the work you put in Oakland, and kind of, it sounds like from what it looked like, obviously, that kind of end reward.
I feel like it just shows what type of work you put in, man, and how serious you take the game. Honestly, like, I had a lot of supporting cast. They helped me out, throughout my process, my whole year. So it definitely was like freshman year, junior year. Those are my two stepping stones. And it was like, okay, junior year, it's time to take over. Like, okay, in the summer, you got to do something else, And I think that summer before the 15-16 season, I had to go to Detroit and work out with my high school coach, or he would come up there. So I did that a little differently that summer, and that's what really pushed me to the edge. And also my father, like, he asked me, like, even like, so after my freshman year, he like, you think about the NBA? And I'm like, no. Like, what you mean? Then my sophomore year, he asked me, like, are you thinking about the NBA? And he would just keep asking me, but I never really, paid no attention. I'm like, I'm not thinking about the NBA. I'm just thinking about getting my education and, going overseas to play. I never thought NBA. My father and AW Canada, those two guys definitely like deserve all the credit for that, man. It was just like they had a formula for me before I even had a formula for me. So I think that's for those two. Those will push me to even be mentioned or even in the conversation for mid-major or national, rankings or whatever. And I never cared about it because, like, if it's gonna come, it's gonna come. But also, what they have to realize, I got a team behind me, and my team is the ones that got me here. I didn't do this all alone.
We actually have a kind of along the lines that we actually had another one of the another question from at G Grizzlies _OakU for the under the SK hashtag. Were you able to finish school and graduate? Because
No,
okay.
I haven't finished yet, but me and Campy is in talks about that.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say anything about it until I actually finished, but yeah, I'm just taking it slow. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to get my degree.
Okay.
Isn't it true that he won't put your number up until you graduate? Isn't that the deal?
I remember we had a meeting and he told me, like, all the players up there that had their number retired, they graduated. And that's basically what I took from that,
That's fair. I appreciate that, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's his rule. I'm not saying I agree with it, but hey, that's campy.
That's camp. Isn't that usually all you have to say? That's campy. Speaking of campy, I got a couple more OU related questions before we get into more of your life here. Did you ever consider transferring? Obviously, a transfer portal and transferring, all that has gotten crazy the past couple of years. Did you ever consider transferring, or were you content and just NBA bound?
So I never thought about transferring. I thought about, like, what if I wouldn't have chose OU? I always think about that. Like, what if I never chose OU? Where would I be now? Or, like, something like that. I've never thought about transferring. Never really. That's not in me. Like, high school was harder than college. So, like, I've never thought about transferring, even in high school. So, no.
In your opinion, why are so many student athletes transferring out of Oakland in the past couple of years? There seems to be an influx of people going out, but Campy's not getting his usual high majors looking for a start coming in. Like, just from your perspective, what's going on there?
From my perspective, I'm an outside looking in now. So when I go back and I talk to players and they try to ask me questions about camping and how to handle this and how to handle that, it's just like you have to be more mature than what you are. You coming in as a freshman, and you can't really handle camping because he's not babying you. That's just how I look at it. Like, camping's not gonna baby anyone. I don't care who you are. From the administration to the players, like, he's not babying no one. So that's just my outside look. I'm not sure though, because guys that have been through Campy Ring of Fire have had a great impact. Look at Keith Benson, Bader, Denzel Valentine, Jonathan Jones, man. Reggie Hamilton, like the list goes on of what he's done for guys. So if guys like believe in Campy, that's what I don't think. I don't think they trust Campy. Like that's what I would think from the outside looking in.
How much longer do you think Campy coaches for? It's always the question, right? Like he's been there forever, but he doesn't seem to be slowing down. How much longer do you think he's there?
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna quit. I don't know. He's never talked to me about quitting, and nobody ever, told me he was gonna quit. So I think he's there forever.
Forever. He is Oakland University.
He can't be. He is OU. He needs to change his Twitter name too.
What is it now? I'm trying. What OU?
He should change it to I am OU.
We'll make sure he hears this, and he can think about that a little bit. So with that, I want to kind of talk a little bit more like getting into your career. So you declare for the NBA, you start the draft process. Like what was that like for you, just being a part of all that?
Okay, so it was definitely different. I didn't know what to expect. I was definitely blind coming in. But my agent did a pretty good job with preparing me. So I ended up moving from Detroit to Dallas. That I would say in April. I moved from Detroit to Dallas, and I just did like my pre-draft workouts and lifting weights and all that. I did it at Exos / the Field House, and I just did like all my workouts there, and just got used to like the pro lifestyle, how it's so much time in the day and things like that. So it was definitely different. Then I'm going to different cities, doing workouts for different teams, and man, it was definitely a fun process. Now that I look back on it. All that traveling, all that, talking to different coaches, talking to the players that's in the gym, talking to the, assistant coaches, the weight trainers, all that, just trying to get any type of information, I could get. I remember when I was in New York and I was doing a workout for them, and Melo was talking to me, and that was like a cool conversation. And I didn't think he knew who I was, but he knew who I was, and that was like, and I've never told nobody this story, but that was definitely a cool experience for me.
That had
talking to Draymond throughout the process. He helped me out a lot. Still helped me to this day. It was definitely a cool experience, man. And I definitely like now the rules have changed to where you can do everything and still keep your eligibility. I definitely advise guys to do it, man. It's definitely a cool experience.
So I remember you threw a pretty big draft party back in Michigan. Did you have a pretty good idea you were getting drafted that night?
Actually, no. I didn't know what to expect, man. I remember San Antonio was talking to me, and they was like, we want to bring you back for a second workout. That was that. I went back for my second workout, whatever. Pop was talking to me, and all the other guys were talking to me, and it's like, okay, whatever. But nobody ever told me, like, we want you. We're going to draft you. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even work out for Cleveland. So it was like, how am I going there, But it was definitely, man, a great party, Oh man, it was life changing. Honestly, like it's really life changing. Like my whole life did a 360 after that.
Well, and even before Cleveland, I mean, Atlanta actually drafted you and then traded you. Did you ever think you'd be traded so early in your NBA life? Like, was that even on the radar?
You never know what to expect with deal when they tell me I'm going to Atlanta. Oh, you're getting traded. Okay. Like, that's where we're going. That's just what it is. Let's roll with it. I'm ready.
All right, so now you're in Cleveland. You start,
Actually, Matt, I want to jump in here. Obviously,
yeah.
Since I'm obviously originally from Northeast Ohio. By the way, I think I know where the Cavs might have gotten the idea, because if you remember, you were playing at Cleveland State at the Wolstein Center the day that Norris Cole got his number retired, and among the people who were in the stands that day was LeBron James. He was actually sitting front row. And I know this because this is the one game I regret missing going to. So But that was before they win the championship. So you get traded to Cleveland, and this is literally a week after Cleveland wins the Cavs win the championship, break like a 52-year curse. It was absolutely nuts in the city. How did it feel getting traded to a team that just won an NBA championship first and foremost?
That was definitely a cool experience, man. Seeing all that, man, getting that experience, being with those different vets, man. It was a cool experience, man. Seeing that trophy and seeing the rings they had. Like I was part of their ring ceremony, opening night or opening day, whatever it's called. Like that, man. That was so sweet, man. I'll be able to tell my kids about that. I'll be able to tell my kids about that. So it's, man, cool experience, man. Honestly, man, I didn't expect none of that. Like literally, I didn't expect none of that. All that is surreal to me. Man, I look back on it today, and people still ask me questions. I'm still shocked that I've been through so much in just 4 years. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, 4 years seems like a long time ago, especially for Cleveland fans now. But so yeah, I mean, you and more. The other question I wanted to ask is, being in that locker room with LeBron, with Kyrie Irving, with Kevin Love, all those guys. What was that experience like? Just interacting with arguably some of the biggest stars in the NBA.
Okay, so besides being in Chicago's locker room, that was probably the best locker room I've ever been in. As far as a team-oriented, like brotherhood type of thing, like that was, and it was also fun. Like, man, it was nonstop laughing, nonstop, knowledge is going on around that room from like not even just LeBron and Kyrie or Kevin Love. You had Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson, J.R. Smith, Shumpert, like even like Kyle Korver, he came along. So it was like, man, that Darren Williams, man, it was.
I forgot Darren Williams, by the way. I forgot he was on that team at the time.
Yeah, so it was like, man, all those guys, man, I got to talk to and have conversations with, and I'll never forget that, never ever. Hello,
Matt.
Sorry, I turned my mic off. Let's try that again. Hi, sorry about that. So you had your Chicago, you had Cleveland. Tell me what it was like to play for Detroit, though. Like, that's the team you obviously grew up watching, I'm sure, as a kid. Like, what was that like putting on that jersey?
that was definitely a cool experience for me, man. Definitely being able to put on that jersey. Them times I did, being home, having all my family in the stands every game, every home game. I definitely feel like I should have been in Detroit longer. That's how I felt about it. Definitely kind of mad that it ended the way it did. But I definitely hope and wish and pray I get another chance to play for my city. Cause like you as a growing up as a hometown kid, man, you can't ask for nothing more. Like I wish I could go back right now.
Well, that's cool to hear, and we all obviously hope you get that shot. So right now, though, you're in China. Well, you're not in China right now, but you're playing in China until everything got shut down. What's the China basketball life like for you? Like, is that something cool? Like, tell us a little bit about that, because I know I don't know a ton about that league. What's that like?
So it's definitely fun, man. Like I get to be myself. I get to run the team how I want to run it, with the coaches, of course looking over, but I get to be myself, man. I get to have fun. I get to play free. I get to make mistakes. I get to learn from it in the next game or in practice. Get to, be myself, be free. I don't have to worry about, like being on like a short leash as I would in the NBA. So two different ball games for me. And I would feel like being in China, I'm back at Oakland. That's the type of feel I get. Just how freely I can, be and score and assist and, you know, just be myself, honestly. Without, being on the short leash, like I said.
Do you feel like a bit of a basketball celebrity there?
It's okay, so it don't matter where we go. Like it's always some fans at the hotel, that's outside the arena. Like I go to the arena early every time. So it's like, how are y'all? Like I think they probably call onto my schedule, or maybe they're just there early. I don't know. But I would say I feel like a little celebrity. It's definitely cool, man. Taking pictures and they are like hounding you type of thing. Like they don't care what you got going. They're gonna grab you. Hey, picture, picture, picture. Like so, I love it though, man. It just shows like how much they love the game and things like that.
What is your favorite food to eat over in China?
You said favorite food? Okay, so man, I got two restaurants. One is called Element Fresh, and the other is called um Blue Frog, and they're both food chains in China. I feel like if those two restaurants came to the States, they would make a lot of money here.
What kind of food is it? Like, what? Tell us about it.
Element Fresh is more on the healthy side. They got like smoothies, tacos, like healthy tacos though. They do have like salmon, salads, things like that. And I would compare the other restaurant, Blue Frog. I would compare that to like a TGI Fridays, Chili's type of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, those like out, but yeah, man, those Element Fresh and Blue Frog. If you're ever in China, please check them out. It will, if you ever go to China, if all this stuff clears over and things like that.
What was that
Yeah,
like for?
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt. You were going to ask the question. I know you're going to ask this, so go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
what was that like kind of being in China when all this happened and then, the league gets shut down and all of a sudden you're probably just being sent home super quick? Like, can you just kind of tell us what those, the last month of your life was kind of like there?
It was definitely a whirlwind. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, and then China called back like, "Hey, we're getting the season going. You need to come back." And that was that. And I just was talking to my agents like what's going on? Like they was like, just wait, just relax. You're not going back right now. Then the Chinese government ended up shutting the season down. So it's definitely been like, okay, what do I do now? Like, so I'm definitely staying ready. I got a workout room in my basement, and I go run there, and I bought a hoop to just put in the back of my back by my garage. So I'm just staying ready any way I can.
I think that's pretty much where everybody's at. I mean, because you guys were about halfway through the season, is that right?
Yeah, we was about halfway through the season, man. We was playing good, man. It was going good. We were second in the in the league, and Ian had came back off an injury. He started playing a few games, and boom, everybody gets sent home. So it's wild, man. It's definitely like, has something like this ever happened before? Like, man, it's crazy. You don't know what to expect.
I mean, and it's nice to hear, someone like you kind of dealing with the same things everybody else is, where, no one knows what to do and everyone's just kind of figuring it out together, which is kind of cool to hear.
Yeah, I just need them to figure it out though, because I'm ready to get back to playing ball. Honestly, like, I understand, like, we have to take precautions. Don't get me wrong, but man, I need basketball, man. I need it.
And so you talked, I mean, your goal, you are not done with the NBA in your mind, is that right? Is that the future goal? Get back?
Yeah, definitely the future goal is to get back. I've seen, went through the process of it, and then being on the other side of it, and then looking back on it. So yeah, I don't think I'm done with the NBA until I get like I can see if I'm 30 and I'm not back at it. It's like okay, well.
Do you do you talk to Kendrick Nunn at all? I know you guys kind of quickly overlapped at OU. Like, do you talk to him at all as he's kind of having his rookie year there and all that?
Yeah, we talk from time to time. You know, it's just like, you know, he is enjoying himself just like he should. You know, he's worked hard and he's earned the opportunity, and it's like just keep going, keep being you. I mean, don't change for no one, man. Just keep being you. You see that you got you here, so you shouldn't change it for nobody. That's just what those conversations be about, and then like all the accolades that he's getting, man, I make sure I congratulate him every time because, you know, he's coming from Chicago, like, you know, playing at Simeon. So just imagine what this like till now is like, man. So he's earned it, man. That's like we just talk about those kind of conversations, like where we come from to where we at now, what we can do to change certain things in our lives. This is really a conversation, man. This don't be nothing too crazy.
You're not reinventing the wheel over there at this point.
Yeah, something like that.
Bob, do you have anything else you wanted to drop in?
No, I really didn't. Yeah, that's you know, we covered a lot. Obviously, we covered a lot of territory here. So yeah, that's so. Kay, you know, obviously you're on Twitter at the number 2K0, correct? At least we should know this. I mean, probably half the people, 90% of the people listening to this probably already follow you.
Yeah, I'm 2K0 with the number 2.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but Kay, we really thank you for taking the time out, for joining us. I know it's been super crazy, obviously, especially the last couple of months. But we're glad to have you.
Oh man, thank you guys. I definitely appreciate it, man.
So with that said, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Again, stay tuned. We've got 2 episodes this week. Obviously, this was an awesome conversation with Kay. And then the next episode, we're going to have the new UIC coach, Coach Luke Yaklich. As always, you can find episodes of the Horizon Roundtable at horizonroundtable.com. You can find us wherever podcasts are found. Yeah, and I think we have a couple of other things going on. Obviously, follow us on Twitter. But other than that, that's going to do it for us, and thank you for listening.